Have you ever eaten bark?
Yeah, actually, as a child.
Oh, as a child, I mean, yeah. We all took a nibble off of something weird when we were a kid. I mean,
What did you eat as a kid that was bad?
as a kid, I would eat flies. I would take flies and rip their wings off and eat their bodies. And my mama had to do everything she could to keep me from eating flies, and I just liked the taste. But you know what? Insects are supposed to be an incredible protein source and perhaps may save us in the future in terms of providing sustainable protein to the human race. So maybe I was just onto something.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll see.
Yeah.
A little child genius, maybe. These pines are resilient. There was a fire through the hills about a decade ago, and there was a Boy Scout troop camping up here, and they were all trapped. And it took a whole village, the whole community, to get them out of there, not just the fire department. And what's so amazing to me is that, you know, we as a species are so fragile when it comes to fire, right? I mean, like, we almost lost a dozen boys that day, but yet these trees were unscathed. I mean, you can see the burn marks there, but they grow as if nothing happened.
Joe, can you eat bark?
Can't eat bark. Your digestive system cannot handle bark. However, you know, my ancestors are Swedish, and this was a very common thing in Europe, that during the famines and whatnot, people would eat moss, lichen, bark, things like that to survive during the deep freeze in the, you know, early 1800s. And so, yes, you can eat bark, but you won't survive off of it for very long. This time of year, the creek is full of tadpoles. So you can see them all eating on the algae in the creek here. Those will turn into a little species of toad that can survive here because of the creek. Basically, that's it. So they don't go too far. It's pretty amazing you can be in such an arid place and still have amphibians out here. California has like 1.5 seasons. What's interesting is that we do have 4 seasons, it's just that they're more subtle. And when you go from our wet winters into our hot summers, it's pretty cool to see this transition where everything turns really green in Southern California. I mean, the hillsides turn bright green, and a lot of things start blooming and flowering, and you see the hillsides covered in the orange California poppy, which is our state flower, and you just see so many beautiful pollinators like the monarch butterfly coming down from their hibernation grounds and making their way down the coast and up the coast. I mean, they're everywhere this time of year. So it's kind of a magical time of the year because there's so much color and there's so much life bursting around us. But it is very ephemeral. It's very short, spring. And it's not like you get on the East Coast or in Northern Europe where spring is like this explosion of life. Here it's a little more subtle, and but it's just as special, and it's the same idea. You have things like these tadpoles that are bursting into life and metamorphosizing into little toads, just like you would in any other part of the country. What does it say, vegan? I think the California poppy flower is, you know, it's a great plant. It has some incredible medicinal qualities that the indigenous tribes figured out, and it's a beautiful, very, very enduring, hardy species. It can handle really rocky, poor soil and droughts, and it's prolific. I mean, the springs here in Southern California with the poppies is just miraculous. Unfortunately, it has become a bit of a celebrity, and you know, now we have these things when there's a super bloom, it's like people show up from all around the world just to get their photos taken with the poppies, and then you'll see them doing stupid things like going up into the hills to get selfies and photos and things like that, and totally trompsing around on the poppies and destroying them, which the only thing about them that's kind of fragile is their, how do I say, not a bulb, but it's like a corm. It's like where all the roots and the nodes are stored in the plant. So it's very delicate. You can't really put too much pressure on it or it'll burst and break and the plant will die. So that's the unfortunate thing, is with all the beauty that they bring, people are very attracted to them, and then they get kind of destroyed.